Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight at 10. I'm Sarah Horbacewicz. We're going to begin tonight with developing news coming out of North Little Rock, where police are investigating the city's second homicide of the year. Authorities say that around 6:30, officers responded to a shooting on West 38th Street near the Exxon gas station. When investigators got to the scene, they found a man lying near the roadway, suffering from at least one gunshot wound. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Now, officials have not released any information on a possible suspect yet, but are asking that anyone with information call them. And of course, as always, we'll keep you updated on the story as we learn more. And as conflict continues in Eastern Europe, Russian forces has killed an American journalist and injured another. Ukrainian police identified the man who died as Brent Renaud, a Little Rock native. These are photos of Brent on past reporting assignments. Now, this includes coverage of conflict in Iraq back in 2014. That's what you see here, where Arkansas videographer Gabe Gentry worked with Renaud, and he reflected from home today on their past together.
There was a tremendous amount of empathy and all of his reporting as well, in addition to the bravery that it took to go that close to a place where you're at risk of losing your own life.
Gentry also shared that Renaud was more than a great journalist, but a leader in film as well, through his work with the Arkansas Film Festival and his focus on giving back to the local community. Arkansas leaders are also remembering the life of Brent Renaud, as Governor Asa Hutchinson released a statement this afternoon, noting also some of Renaud's local work, saying he, quote, lost his life while covering the pure evil that is the invasion of Ukraine. An award-winning filmmaker and journalist, Brent made great contributions to the culture and arts of Arkansas. Little Rock's Mayor Frank Scott Jr. also issued a statement saying he's, quote, praying for the family of Little Rock native Brent Renaud, an acclaimed filmmaker and journalist who was recently killed in Ukraine. And Arkansas locals and religious leaders also met today to support Ukraine's fight for peace. THV 11's Jade Jackson shows us how they're hoping to help half a world away.
At First Presbyterian Church, a candlelight service, and another gathering at St. Mark Episcopal Church.
Don't believe that the brave, brilliant resistance of the Ukrainians, without support, without help from the West, is going to prevail against Vladimir Putin.
General Wesley K. Clark, a former NATO Supreme Allied Commander and retired four-star general, shared his hope for action to bring peace to Ukraine.
I'm in contact with people there every hour, and I admire their courage, and I want to do everything I can to help, and I'm sure many of you do too. But I know what the odds are.
Local religious leaders also met to pray for safety in the region.
Most of us knew precious little about Ukraine, but we're nonetheless concerned as Russia and its autocratic dictator, Vladimir Putin, amassed troops on Ukraine's border.
As they plan to take action, organizing relief efforts for Ukraine and reflect on their own ability to help across the globe.
This country must take greater risk for freedom.
As speakers look to put the impact of conflict on Americans in perspective.
And those same sanctions bring economic difficulties to us and to the world. When prices go up or goods are unavailable because of measures we are taking in support of the Ukrainian people, let us welcome the sacrifice.
In Little Rock, Jade Jackson, THV 11 News.
And speakers today say the money they collected will go towards the Episcopal Church's Relief and Development Fund. We have more information on how you can participate in those efforts on our website at thv11.com.
In a good Sunday evening. So Arkansas is no stranger dealing with roller coaster type weather. A week ago, we were talking about severe weather and even saw a few tornadoes in the area. We ended the week a few days ago with some snow. And what a difference 24 hours can make, because a lot of that snow definitely has already melted away as we continue to warm up through the weekend. Here's a photo that one of you guys sent us in. This is from Anthony Johnson that he sent us over in Pine Bluff. The fresh snow that had fallen that we woke up and saw Saturday morning. But of course, we had a lot of sunshine. Temperatures were above freezing. A lot of the snow has since melted away. Matter of fact, today we saw our highs back in the 60s, a good 20 degrees warmer than what we saw yesterday. So yes, things quickly turned around for today. Felt a lot more closer towards average temperatures for this time of year. We're sitting at 51 right now here in the metro, a few pockets in the 40s as of this evening. And as we go into tonight, we'll be cooling down back into the 30s and in the 40s once again. So in terms of when our next weather maker is in the forecast, I'll have the details on that coming up.
Looking ahead, tomorrow is the pre-trial hearing for the former Lonoke County Sheriff's deputy accused of killing 17-year-old Hunter Britton. In June, Michael Davis pulled Britton over to conduct an early morning traffic stop. Authorities say the former deputy then fatally shot the unarmed teen. Davis faces 3 to 10 years in prison if convicted. The hearing is set for at 10 a.m. tomorrow at the Cabot Readiness Center. THV 11 will be there and will bring you the latest coverage as we attend. And we turn now to the latest update in COVID-19 in the state. Friday marked 2 years since the first case of the virus was confirmed in the state, and the battle against the pandemic still not over yet. The Arkansas Department reports nearly 400 new cases just since yesterday. The number of active cases sits at more than 2,100. In total, almost 11,000 Arkansans have died from complications to the virus. Health leaders continue to push for vaccination. 55% of Arkansans are now fully vaccinated. And there are still questions about that COVID-19 vaccine, and regular booster shots could become more common in the future. On Face the Nation this morning, Pfizer CEO Dr. Albert Bourla says since so many variants are coming, they're working to make sure the vaccine can not only add protection against all variants, but one that will last at least a year. His belief is that a 4th dose could be helpful.
It is necessary a 4th boost right now. The protection that you are getting from the 3rd, it is good enough, actually quite good for hospitalizations and deaths.
And Bourla also says a vaccine for children 5 and under could come as early as May. And the government will soon start shipping another round of COVID-19 tests to all Americans who want one. Brandon Lewis from our National Verify team explains what you need to know about claims that could contain a potentially lethal ingredient.
Health officials tout at-home rapid COVID-19 tests as a first line of defense against the pandemic. The tests allow users to take their own sample and then get a result within 15 minutes. Some social media users saying that convenience can come at a cost in the form of a lethal ingredient used to generate the result.
So let's verify. Do some at-home COVID-19 tests contain a lethal ingredient?
Our sources are the Upstate Poison Center, the Cincinnati Drug and Poison Information Center, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, and the National Capital Poison Center. When you do a rapid home test, the kit requires users to collect a sample and place it on a tray. Then you have to mix a liquid reagent with the sample to make a reaction, which generates a positive or negative result. The Upstate Poison Center says the liquid reagent in many tests contains sodium azide, which the CDC calls a potentially dangerous chemical. But all 3 poison centers say the test kits contain such a small amount of sodium azide that most people will not become seriously ill if they use the test improperly, such as ingesting the solution. Cincinnati poison experts saying the 2 most common calls about COVID home tests they get are either about children who ingest the liquid or adults who mistake the test bottle for eye drops. The National Center said it also received calls from people who put the solution up their nose or spilled it on their finger. In every case, the person suffered either no to mild irritation.
So it's true. Some rapid at-home COVID-19 tests contain a very small amount of a poisonous ingredient, but the tests are perfectly safe when used correctly.
Most people have no or mild symptoms if they incorrectly touch or ingest the dangerous ingredient. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
All right, thanks, Brandon. Now, if you have something that you want verified, you can email us. That's right at verify@thv11.com. You can also reach out on social media, and we'll look into your questions. Coming up, a species of spiders from overseas are making their way to the U.S. Why experts believe it might not be long before they can make their way to our region.
Oh goodness, I hope not for sure. I'm tracking our next weather maker in the forecast. The latest details are coming up.